this is another video to help you with parts and whole fractions. Once again, I'm going to show you that there's 3 different ways that you can do these kind of problems, and you can pick whichever way that you're most comfortable with. So let's go ahead and look at an example like 2/5 of 20. I have a fraction over here, and I have a whole number over here. What this is telling me is if I were to break 20 into 5 parts, I would take 2 of those parts. 2/5 of 20. I know that 5/5 of 20 would be 20, so if I'm looking at 2/5, I know it's a smaller portion. So I know that my answer is going to be a whole number, and it's going to be less than 20. Here's the first way that you can do this problem. Next to your denominator, you can write the word draw. Okay? Next to your whole number, you can write dots. And next to your numerator, you can write circle. And you're going to draw first, then you're going to use the dots, and then circle last. So it goes draw, dots, circle. First I'm going to draw 5. This one didn't come out so well. Okay? Then I'm going to place 20 dots evenly throughout each of these 5. I just drew 5, I placed 20 dots evenly within each of these 5, and now I'm going to circle 2 of them. Okay, a lot of you showed me that you could get to this step in class, but what that means is all these little dots inside 2 of these here, these circles here, that's your answer. So, you would have a total, if you counted, 2/5 is the same as 8. Okay? That's one way that you can do this problem. Alright, this is the same exact problem that I just had on the board, but I'm going to show you how to do it a different way. 2/5 of 20 still says the same exact thing. Alright. Later on in your upper math classes, you're going to learn that of is just another math term, which means multiplication. So I need to draw a multiplication sign. Okay? Then I'm going to go ahead and draw my fraction line here, and I'm going to create another fraction. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to ask myself, 5 times what equals 20? I'm only going to focus on my denominator right now. 5 times what equals 20? Well, I know that that's 4. Alright, and if you think back to equivalent fractions or simplifying fractions, if you have a denominator that's a 4, your numerator also has to be a 4. They have to be the same thing. Okay, now watch really carefully. If I take 5 times 4 to get 20, I know that 2 times 4 equals 8, and that's my answer. Once you look at your denominator and how it turns into a 20, you do the same thing to your numerator, and 2 times 4 equals 8. That's a different way that you can do these kind of parts and whole fractions. Final way I'm going to show you is probably the most advanced and technical way, but it is the correct way that you are going to learn later on in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So if you take 2/5 of 20, we already said that of means multiply. So I'm going to erase my of, and then I'm going to put my multiplication symbol because I know I'm multiplying 2/5 times 20. You cannot multiply a fraction by a whole number, and a whole number. You can't multiply 2/5 times 20. So you have to turn 20 into a fraction. And anytime you have a whole number, you can just write it over 1 or create it over the denominator 1, and it's the same thing. 20 is the same exact as 20 over 1. So I'm going to take my numerator times my numerator to get my new numerator, and my denominator times my denominator to get my new denominator. And I cannot leave this answer. I just said 2/5 of 20, or 2/5 times 20 over 1 is equal to 40/5, or 40 over 5, which is correct, but you cannot leave it like this. You can simplify it if you want to, but the easiest thing to go ahead and do is put your numerator inside, just like all the other problems we've been doing, which is 40, and then take your denominator on the outside. And we know that 40 divided by 5 is 8. Why? Because 5 times 8 equals 40. This is now your answer. This is another way you can figure out 2/5 of 20, or 2/5 times 20 over 1 is equal to 8.